Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Well, let's take a look at things. Just moving the thing over. My current blood sugar is 6.8. It's starting to go up a bit. No, it was 6.7. Now it's just popped up to 6.8, so it's not really going up. Fully calibrated for this morning. No active insulin in me. The last correction I had was 0.65 units at about 3 this morning. And I woke up because I was wheezing and I don't know. But pretty constant throughout the night, which is a big plus. I don't have to worry about waking up low all the time. And so 6.8, good. I feel better. I feel like I have some energy. Maybe not the greatest to be up this early, but time and range. Well, yesterday we were at 94, 95. I think 94% time and range. Today we're back. We're back at 100, and I'm starting to see more 100s, which is excellent for me. And it's a big win. I'm having a few more lows, but it's my lows, not what lows for other people. So I have 100% time and range. Average sugar in millimoles per liter was 6.4. So that's down again. See, we bring this down and this number just drops. Isn't that amazing? And of course, if you're always below 3.9, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, that's gonna take up. So, all in all, this is doing pretty damn good. Now, today we're going to talk about CGMs. And CGM, it's just great. You put it in, and your blood sugars are no, you don't have to do blood sugars ever again. Well, is that true? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. So CGMs, you don't have to do anything. You just inject them and they'll work for the rest of time, and you'll never have to do another thing to manage your blood sugar. It will tell you all, and you'll get wonderful readings like this. There's no work that has to go with them whatsoever. Not. CGMs require an awful lot of work. Some models require you to calibrate twice a day. Others are coming on the market now where calibration is still less. But you just don't have it in you for the sake of having it in you. The information you take a look at and that you know what's going on is something that's got to be there that you have to utilize. If you're not utilizing this information, it's just a toy. I fought for my right to have a CGM, so I make sure I use them constantly. There was a time, I think probably since getting them, I wore them or I didn't wear them for about 3 days. It's something I constantly have. If you have a commitment that your blood sugars are unstable and you need them, it should be available. But if you're just using them, because he has it and that, he doesn't have to do finger pokes. Well, first of all, you should still be doing finger pokes. So making sure that this is working correctly. If it isn't working correctly, then it's just another piece of hardware to wear. I like the sensors. It gives me a tool to help control my diabetes. But there are mindsets out there where people aren't making commitments. Now, if you're the type of diabetic who's just, oh, well, yeah, I have diabetes. Yeah, sometimes I watch what I eat. Other times, I'm not really that concerned about it. Oh, woe is me. Then maybe CGM isn't for you. But if you decided that you have to control your body's blood sugars and you're having a difficult time at it, this should be an option for you. Now, back in 2014, I was in the hospital for 9 months. I was just there. I was quite sick with DKA, and they just couldn't control my blood sugars whatsoever. Keeping my blood sugar within range was something that I was unable to do. We got a few sensors donated in a roundabout way to me, not directly to me, and I got to try them, and it was great. I did also try different companies. I did try the Dexcom. At least with this one, everything comes up on my pump, which I like. I can see it right on my pump. I can make decisions about my blood sugar on my pump. So we applied under our pharmacare out here in BC that we could get sensors. Back then, sensors were newer technology. And I've said this before on this channel, I believe I was one of the first, if not the first, in British Columbia to get sensors approved. That was great. I won. I had the tool. So if you have CGMs, don't just get them because, there's something new. I have the newest technology. If you don't utilize the information, and if you're not keeping your sensors up to date, then what's the point? Let's take a look at what one has to do. First of all, my sensors only have a life of 7 days. There are some out there that have a life of 10 now, but things are changing. We're waiting for the latest sensor from Medtronic. Now, I have to calibrate twice a day. What's nice about this pump, is now every time you do a blood sugar, it calibrates. So when you do it, it just automatically calibrates. You don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to calibrate? Don't I have to calibrate? The time I have where less and less blood sugars waiting for calibration timeout have come. That was a difficult sentence to say. Where my sensor has run out of calibration is being less and less by this feature. I've done videos on the Medtronic sensors, but CGM is on hold. If you lean up against sometimes to a CGM, you can get a wrong reading. They're easy to knock out if you're not careful. You have to take them down to the body. There's new sensors coming that you kind of just have to get placed every 6 months. They're not quite highly used up here in Canada. If you watch a site that I watch quite regularly, TCOYD, Taking Care of Your Diabetes. They talk about, I think it's Everlate or Evermore, and it's put in your doctor's office, just under the skin, every 6 months. Mine I can do at home, and I've been finding for myself, the Medtronic is quite accurate. CGM works best with a closed loop system pump. With my Medtronic, it works with the 780, 770, and I believe 670 pump. Sensors work quite well with them. I'm able to make decisions. My pump now, if I go high, it'll start giving insulin. If I go low, it will stop insulin. And that's the plus of CGM. If you start dropping, it will cut off insulin. Nothing's worse than going into the hospital and, oh, you have to disconnect your pump. Oh. And one time while I was in the pump, oh, you have to disconnect your pump. And I said, no. And I said, well, you're not going to go into DKA within a couple of hours. Yes, when you're dealing with short-acting insulin, yes, you are. And the amount of insulin, this gives what's called a basal rate, is less than a unit a lot of times. But it's giving me the insulin I need to live. You've got to remember, CGM is still newfound territory. And a lot of doctors, especially in hospitals and that, will say, oh, well, you have to pull it out, get rid of it. I've had many problems if I've ended up in the hospital because of a low blood sugar. They want this disconnected, or they'll pull it out, and then I'm lying there waiting to go home, and my blood sugars increase. I can remember I was taken into the hospital with low blood sugar, And then they had to arrange a ride home for me. And I was put in the back of the hospital, and I was up peeing all night after it. And by the time I got home, I was feeling sick. I was so ill. But it was my body saying, hey, you need insulin. And they didn't have the machine hooked up. They pulled out the sensor. So call the manufacturer. They will tell you whether they need to work or to take it out or whatever. Another point with the CGM, they cost a lot of money. And I'm lucky here in Canada and here in my home province of British Columbia, Pharmacare is paying for sensors, and I'm damn well making sure I utilize them. Because you want to make sure you're getting the both out of the sensor. Yes, this means you're going to have to check it with blood sugars. Even, I'm sure, the new one that's coming, you're still probably going to have to do a blood sugar to get going, but you're going to have to check every once in a while. So, having a sensor or having a CGM does not mean you'll never have to do a blood sugar ever again. The one good thing about me being in this situation, and I'm sort of again breaking ground here, that I'm probably one of the first people to show up with a pump. There is another diabetic on our wing here, and who's a type 1, but she doesn't have the sensors. With the pump and that, I'm able to control my own blood sugar. I'm not ready to hand over the reins yet. But keeping your blood sugars within line, CGM is an awesome tool that can help you. Is CGM right for you? Can be, but just don't think you'll never have to do a blood test again. That CGM will answer all your questions. You won't have to work at it one bit. It's untrue. Have a great day. The CGMs work quite well, but it's not the answer all. That you still have to contribute to make the CGM work for you. My next vlog topic will be the next video vlog that we're going to discuss is how do I keep going on? I should just hand over all my insulin. Everything should be done by someone else. Why do I hold on? Why do I just have to keep on and going on? Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. with Keep Going On. How do I keep going on? See you tomorrow. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.